I got a message for you. Long story short, there are these pine trees that were creating a staircase to navigate, to walk around. And what was really beautiful was noticing how stable and supported and expansive they were and thriving in creating this network spreading outwards. Had me thinking about how a lot of us in the spiritual community that are focused on our healing and evolution and things, we go down, into our shadow, into our darkness. And trees don't gain their strength from that. They grow out for their stability. At least where I live and hike, there's rock only a handful of feet below, so you can't really grow down anyways. You're kind of forced to sprawl outwards to create that balance, and then you can grow up and outwards up top too. And the only parts we see as a person are the way our life kind of expands out wide up top. Kind of like a tree branch, but more in a manifestation sense of our emotions and our objects and our relationships and connections and everything. So I'm sitting here realizing that a lot of us can kind of get stuck in this cycle, in this loop of going down and exploring and going down and holding space and feeling and healing, and that's not what's going to help any of us grow outwards and strong and tall and expansive. It's taking what we know from down low and integrating it and applying it and making sure that we're utilizing that, but we're releasing what no longer serves us. We're integrating it and moving through these next chapters and seasons with the lessons and the wisdom. The lessons and the wisdom are the breadcrumbs outward. It's the action phase and moving into the next step and level up and all of that. I was really impressed by this message because part of the healing is just integrating, resting, taking a break, being a human being. Our ego catches up with us as we spiritually evolve. Our ego catches up there too. And I think upon many people's first spiritual awakenings, when they have that awareness and concept of the ego, they think of it as being fixed just like that. But no, we all have an ego within us and it evolves with us. So it's about constantly being on a lookout in the awareness and the questioning and the observer role for when the ego comes into play. And I think a lot of us and our ego drive us to continue to dig down, to be productive, to view spirituality with a capitalistic lens and keep doing the work and producing, and it ends up being this hypermasculine process. So all of that aside, with the message being integrate, release, and act with the lessons and wisdom. You don't have to continue excavating to build, right? We dig a hole for the foundation, but then we build up once we're done digging. The other piece that I had sat and kind of asked the tree, I was like, okay, so if you're able to grow wide and stable, if you are then growing wide to grow up and out and abundance and evolve and expand and all of these things, I'm like, but your trunk is a fixed object. So are we supposed to anchor ourselves into something somewhere to be able to grow out from and to be able to grow up and out from? Because at some point, you need a starting point, right? And our trunk is ourself, coming home to ourself, our body, our vessel, our heart, our gut. That we have legs. We're meant to move around. We're meant to interact and socialize. Trees have a lot of wisdom, but we're obviously not trees. We're related. We're created in divine love and image as the same type of vibe, but I guess what I'm getting at here is it's that practice of coming home to ourselves. It's that practice of creating that safety and that starting line, that starting place, that anchor inside of ourselves that we can grow out from, that we can expand from, that we can move up and abundantly just expand and evolve. Moral of the story, don't get stuck in the darkness. Don't get lost thinking that there's an end result or an end goal there. Because there's always more work to be done. We're just excavating more work and more work and more work. There's always more work to be done. And the point in being here and being alive isn't to just constantly do work. It's to enjoy. It's to experience. It's to be present and mindful and honest. Yes, but it's just to be human being, right? So with that, I will leave you. I hope you remember that as important and precious as it is to learn ourselves, learn our darkness, befriend those aspects, offer them love and compassion, it is just as important to take breaks, be a human being, explore and enjoy, and just nourish your inner child, you know, taking what we learn from those moments of excavation and applying it through the way that we act moving forward. So, shout out that massive, beautiful pine tree for teaching us that today. Have a great day.